All right, let's get this party started. Hello, hi, and welcome to my podcast. Uh, I wrote a little preamble that I'm going to read. This whole thing will not be scripted. I did just want to put some effort in and make sure that I got some points across. So I wrote a little thing to read at the beginning and then some bullet points, and we'll just go through it. Um, so let's get started. Hello, and welcome to my podcast. Sorry. This is the first episode in my mini podcast that will probably not be so many about my album, Don't You Love It? That's the name of the album. I've never been so good at introductions, so let me try again. My name is Liam Lars. I'm an independent artist, currently based out of Salt Lake City, Utah. I've lived in Utah all my life and technically in Idaho, though I think you can just count Idaho as northern Utah. I've lived in Paradise, Delta, Rexburg, Boise, Logan, Ephraim, and then finally moved to Salt Lake, the mecca for all musicians and gay people living in Utah. I don't really have a hometown, so I kind of just consider wherever I'm at my hometown at the moment. When people ask me what kind of music I make, I have a very difficult time defining it. This isn't because I make some strange experimental music, and I know that my music is somewhere between jazz, rock, and pop, but genre to me is as flexible as a chord progression or a melody line. It's all part of the expression and composition of the music rather than a strict rule. Why think inside or outside of the box when you can just use the box itself? And I don't think I'm special or unique for thinking like this. I think a lot of my biggest inspirations and some of the best musicians in the world think like this. I also think that your style and genre will continue to grow and change just as you as a person continue to grow and change. I don't really have a hometown. I don't think I have a home genre either. And yeah, everybody says they listen to everything, so I don't think that it's crazy to say that my inspirations and influences range a lot. This album in particular took on the flavor of a lot of 70s singer-songwriters like Billy Joel, Elton John, Queen, Stevie Wonder, and many others. I started playing as a dueling pianist at the Tabernacle, and I've been doing so for the last couple years. So I play these artists almost every single night, and instead of growing tired of them, I tried to look for inspiration in them, and inspiration in any of the music that I cover and sing. I grew up listening to singer-songwriters like Amy Winehouse, Sarah Bareilles, and my mom. I studied jazz in college, I performed musical theater, I've sung in party bands and rock bands, I've recorded studio vocals, I've been in a cappella choirs, and I even did a couple operas. There is something to love and appreciate in every performance and production I've done. All these things have informed my musical taste. So what I've come to value most in music is the purpose. Was there a reason for writing it? Intention and purpose are what I think make good art, and in today's world of AI slop and corporate, disposable, rage-baiting, content farming, capitalist art, that's what I think me and other people are craving. Real, human, intentional art. So if I have to label myself as one single genre, I'd probably say retro pop. I find the most lasting and timeless songs have this intentionality, a reason for them to exist outside of what money they might make. I hope that my music has this timeless quality, and so I try my best to pull from those classic artists and make something important and meaningful. The inspiration for this album came from the patterns I perceive in my own life. The original name I had for the album was The Way Things Always Are, which is the name of one of the songs on the album. I felt like I was in an unescapable loop, or inescapable. I think it's inescapable. That everything I did led me back to the same ending. Patterns and spirals and ups coming down. Those are lyrics from that song, but we will cover that song in another episode. But I decided I didn't want to have this reductive perspective of my experience title and define this chapter of my life. I'm the kind of person to always look for a deeper meaning, and that nothing is pointless. There must always be a reason I find myself stuck in these patterns. So even if I don't have the answer yet, I need to keep looking. One day, high on mushrooms, I was walking through Memory Grove, which is a park by the Capitol building. I was contemplating again these patterns and spirals that I found myself in. I was also contemplating my life and where I want to take it. Sometimes I complain about being an artist and a musician. I complain about my job, and people ask me if I want to keep doing it, if I love it. There's never a doubt in my mind that I am a musician, and it sounds dramatic, but I have to do this. I will be making music until the day I die, and if that means that I die penniless on the streets, then so be it. They tell you in music school that if you have a plan B, you should take it. And you can bet your ass that if I had a plan B, I would have taken it already. So, to answer the question, yes, I do love it. Conversely, I felt that the universe had asked me the same question about these cycles. As I finished writing the last few songs on the album, I started to realize that the cycles repeat themselves because I look for them. Things are not always the same, but I choose to find the similarities, and that is why I keep coming to the same conclusions. I'm the artist, I'm the painter, I'm the writer, and I was only comfortable writing the same ending. So the universe was asking me, don't you love it? Because you keep choosing it every time. And as much as I wanted to play the victim of unhappy circumstance, I kept writing the same ending. So again, to answer the question, no, I don't love it. A lot of the album explores my mental process, and the album is meant to illustrate these patterns. I feel like writing the album has given me a lot better look at myself. While writing the songs, I was looking for answers that I could not see until I put the entire puzzle together. While the journey was entirely about me, my personal growth, and my unique experiences, I think they're all universal lessons. They're all relatable, and the things I learned are things that everyone has to learn, just in different ways. I love to hear how other people experience and relate to my music. Probably the biggest reason I make my art is to relate, to feel seen and understood, and to remind myself that I am a human just like everyone else. So as I explain the process and what the songs mean to me, I hope that you still have your own interpretation of my art. I want to know that what it makes you feel, what you think, and why. Art is collaborative, and so is the consumption of it. I love this album for my own reasons, and I hope you have your own as well. I love to talk about my own art, but I feel extremely self-centered doing so. So I decided to do what every other white guy does and start a podcast. I guess art is extremely self-centered and selfish. That's one of the human experiences that we probably all share, but I don't perceive other artists as being self-centered for making art about their own life and experiences. I often wonder why I make my music and release it instead of writing these songs and just keeping them to myself, but to my surprise, there are people that actually want to hear it. And I don't say this all to fish for compliments or validation. I truly make my music for me and my own selfish reasons, so when other people enjoy it and are excited about it, it is a little surprising. I make this music because I love it, and it turns out other people do too. All right, we finished that up. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. I don't know how long these episodes are going to be. I'm going to try to make them interesting, and, the goal was to kind of explain to you the writing process and the recording process. I'm not really that wonderful at promotion. I don't like being on social media. I didn't really want to be an influencer when I became a musician, but seems like you can't do just one nowadays. So, anyway, I hope this kind of, my intention also is to get you interested in my art. I feel like I listen to other people's music, and I love to dissect the way that they are thinking. And I'm the kind of person I'm going to be reading the Genius interviews. I'm going to be up in that, and I'm going to be overthinking these lyrics forever. And I guess not everybody is going to do that with everything they listen to. But I probably won't be interviewed by Genius for this album, so I thought, well, why don't I just make my own Genius interview? That's what this is. So anyway, hope that introduction was good. Not every episode's going to have that, so don't worry, it'll be fun. Okay, so I'm going to try to go in order of the album. Like, I'm going to talk about each song in each episode, and then I'm going to, the plan is to do like an acoustic or like stripped down cover of each of the songs at the end of the episode. I don't know. I thought that would be a fun little thing for us to do. So, and I did write some bullet points, so I could maybe try to stay on track a little bit. So, first song on the album, Serendipity. This one is already out. You can stream it anywhere that you listen to music. This was the last song in what I call the Snow College session with my roommates. So I went to Snow College down in Ephraim. I got my bachelor's of music down there, and I first of all, love Snow College. It was really fun. I could not be doing any of the stuff that I'm doing now if it wasn't for Snow College. I learned so much. I not only just how to sing and how to perform, but I made a lot of really amazing friends, and they helped me make this album and the last one. So Serendipity and Losing Light are the last two songs that we recorded at Snow College. If you are going to school there, you can record in their recording studio for free as long as you book it. And honestly, I don't know why more students don't do that. I recorded all of Mythology and these two songs in that studio, and the only cost was if I hired people to come do it for me, like help me record or play instruments. So anyway, my friends, so Jacob Sylvester, Josh Thomas, and Nate Adair, they are all on this track. You may know them from a little band called Cardinal Bloom. Not to like clout chase, I'm not trying to do that, but I love those guys. I love them. They have been such a great support to me, and yeah, they're my bros. Never had bros before. They're my first and only bros. Anyway, so we recorded it at Snow College in the really kind of shitty West Campus. Oh wait, sorry, I'm trying not to swear. The not so good West Campus studio. Okay, so now we're gonna get into the themes of the song. So the main theme of the song is reality versus fantasy, looking for signs that may or may not be there, and misinterpreting what is actually around you. This is harder than I thought. I even wrote the bullet points down to try to like help me put my thoughts into words. But that's, I guess, kind of the thing about music is you write music because it's hard to explain things and it's easier to say them in lyrics and song. That sounds cheesy, but I guess that's true. Anyway, so the song is also about my career. Let me try to explain that. So this is okay. We're gonna have to cut out so much of this. Let's start. One time, I almost got diagnosed with BPD or bipolar disorder. Let's start there because that is actually kind of the origin of this song. I don't want to get too far into like the mental health stuff because that can be a little bit trauma dumpy, but yeah, I for a period of my life was having a very difficult mental time. And it started manifesting as these very extreme mood swings. A lot of manic energy, right? So it and in those periods it was very difficult to actually tell what was real, what was just in my head, and I was also I was being fed all of this stuff from like TikTok and social media, which already social media is going to make you question what is and what is not real. I was being fed all this stuff like, oh, this is going to be the best year of your life, because I do like astrology and witchcraft and tarot cards and all that stuff. I like it. I think it's really interesting. But then when I get into those kind of manic states, I'm like, ooh, it starts to cross into a dangerous territory where, is this just an interest or are you like kind of losing it a little bit, you know? So anyway, it was that was the inspiration, the original inspiration for the song. And then also about my career, because, and I feel like, a lot of artists listen to other artists. I think probably most of my fan base they're also artists, which is great. I love that everybody can make art. But I think probably a lot of you can relate where people tell you that you're awesome. You're like, wow, you should audition for American Idol. Like, you're so good. You could totally but then it's so hard. And then you play a show and there's like 20 people there and you're like, so how am I like that good? But also all of this, like, it doesn't seem like it. And the answer to that is a lot more nuanced. It's not the amount of people that come to your show does not equal how good you are. And there's a lot of other things. So you know, but that was another reason why I wrote the song, is because like, oh my God, this like cognitive dissonance of, I do believe in my art and I love my music and I think I'm talented, but why is it so hard to convince other people of that? And why am I still having like so much strife in my life? Um okay, next bullet point. Sometimes you wrap your interests in sarcasm so you don't have to be embarrassed or ashamed about having them. Yes, okay. So the lyrics of this song, they're a little bit shrouded in sarcasm. You know, I'm partly making fun of tarot and witchcraft and astrology while also knowing a lot about it. Like, and I think that everybody kind of does that to a certain point where like your guilty pleasures or your really niche interests, you try to like act like you're too cool for them, and like maybe you make fun of them around people because you don't want them to know that you're actually like really into it. So anyway, the lyrics, I mention all of these things in an almost kind of sarcastic way. But I do actually love these things. I love tarot. I love astrology. I think mostly I'd love to learn about like backstory and lore, and there's so much in them. So anyway, my mouth is dry. This is the worst coffee I think I've ordered in a really long time. Not to put Beans and Brews on blast, but I asked the barista what I should get. She said, "You should get a Revolver. It's good." I said, "Okay, yeah." I haven't been to Beans and Brews in ages. It's making me sick, I have to say. But I bought it and it's kind of expensive, so I'm going to drink it. Where was I? Oh, yeah. I do like these things. I like learning about them. And whether it's a real interest or like a spiritual belief, I am not entirely sure sometimes, but I like it. Okay, so then we get into an unreliable narrator, manic energy type stuff. I wanted the lyrics and the entire vibe of the song to be like kind of like an unreliable narrator. Like, that the person who's telling you about this stuff is kind of off their rocker a little bit. Like, you can't really trust them. Also, the lighting just changed a lot. The sun went down. Yeah, I wanted people to question, like, what's going on? Is this person okay? That's part of the point. There's a level of irony there that, you can kind of feel that I am losing my marbles a little bit. Okay. The lyrics themselves are not as deep as other songs. It's mostly the narration style and the way it hopefully makes you feel like you're scrambled, excited, and a little bit unstable. Kind of explained that already. Oh, this is a good one. Emotional lightning rod, and people perceive me more than I think they do. So, we have to go back to Snow College for a little bit. One time, and this is a very relevant story. My voice teachers, after one very difficult semester, sat me down and they said, "Hey, you were such a difficult little piece of poop this semester. We have to talk to you about that. You have to stop doing this because we believe in you, and you just need to know that what you were doing is not okay." And that hit me like a truck because, I thought that semester that I was feeling really bad, I thought I was doing a really wonderful job of masking it. I thought I was like showing up to rehearsal peppy and happy and willing. But no, everybody kind of perceives me more than I think that they do. And that was a kind of hard pill to swallow. And that this song and that conversation, specifically, they told me, you are an emotional lightning rod. You walk into a room and people can tell how you're feeling. You have a loud personality. That's kind of who you are. So you have to decide how you're going to enter this room. Are you going to show up and leave everything at the door for rehearsal, or are you going to be difficult? Because you're not going to get any jobs if you're going to be difficult. Like, you can't do this. And yeah, it shook my world for a bit. This was the same semester that I was having like kind of manic depressive episodes. So anyway, that's also a reason why I got this tattoo, the lightning bolt on my forearm, is to remind myself, hey, you get to decide how you are affecting other people in the room. And so anyway, I don't think that my professor actually knows that. Brian Stuckey, if you ever listen to this, that tattoo is inspired by your advice. Okay. So last kind of bullet point before I get into the lyrics. The unspoken moral of this song is that it's satire. Don't give in to the mania. Ground yourself. Also, don't be afraid to ask for help. You're never too big of a boy to ask for help. You know, I think it's important to talk to people when you're feeling that kind of way, to be like, hey, I need you to tell me what you think about my art. Or, hey, I'm feeling this kind of way. And just simply discussing it with someone is really important. I guess this is just a mental health PSA. Yeah. This song is about mental health, so I feel like I should say something about it. You should talk to your friends. And I don't think you should be afraid of talking to your friends about the way you're feeling. And if you need validation, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think everybody needs validation sometimes. If you just need comfort, whatever it is you need, you don't need to feel ashamed for asking for it. So, period. Amen. Yeah. So, now let's get into the lyrics. I'm going to read them from my computer right here. I spend too much time hoping words will start to rhyme, and I've been gazing at the clock, hoping maybe it will start to talk. It's just about angel numbers. We're starting into the mania phase, right? I've been barely making sense. I've been barely making rent. Little pun about sense and money and rent. I can't satisfy my cravings because wishing wells took all my savings. Yeah, like I said, the lyrics aren't like that deep. It's mostly about the vibe. So then we get the pre-chorus. Set intentions for higher dimensions. I'm dying of suspension. If you don't know much about like the witchy world, if you're on TikTok, they'll be like, okay, everybody, now we're going to set your intention. We're going to dimension shift on 8-8, the Lion's Gate, and this is a very powerful portal. And I'm making fun of it right now a little bit, but like I said, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I think it's really real. Sometimes it's like really real. Oh shit, my disc is almost full. Oh no. Okay. I'll try to speed this up. Okay. Sitting, waiting, anticipating a dream that might come true. But if you don't know what it is, it's such an easy thing to miss. Yeah, again, if you don't know exactly what it is you want and you're like trying to set your intentions for something, you're not going to find it because you don't know what you're looking for. That's another kind of theme in the song, is that like you got to know what it is that you're trying to manifest. And like, oh, I just want to be famous. I want my music to be successful, whatever it is. There needs to be like real things that you're going for. Otherwise, you're not going to get it. I've been struck by serendipity. I think it's meant to be. And I've been struck by serendipity. I think it's destiny. Yeah, lightning bolt. That was a huge kind of like image in my brain, was like, boom. All of a sudden you're like, whoa. I think that I'm in a manic phase, and I think that I could maybe like jump off of a building and fly. Not that I have ever really thought about that, but a little bit sometimes. Okay. Verse 2. My horoscope keeps making jokes. My angels have been taking notes because they think that it's so damn funny teasing me with milk and honey. Love a biblical reference. Pulled all my stops and cards. That, stops like pulling out stops in an organ, but then also pulling cards. If you can imagine, like shuffling through a tarot deck and like pulling all your favorite ones and being like, yeah, it's so good. Yay. The universe is giving me everything that I want. Oh, shit. Apologies, everybody. My computer stopped recording for a second. I don't know how to make a podcast. I've never done this before, so don't be mean to me. And I also don't know how much of it did not get, but I'm gonna, I don't know. I'll start back up at verse 2. My horoscope is making jokes, and the angels have been taking notes, and they think that it's so funny, teasing me with milk and honey. I've pulled all my stops and cards, tore out, wore out, lost my heart. I'm restless and retrograde because I can't sleep in beds I never made. Yeah. So, milk and honey, biblical reference. If you didn't catch that, I'm sure you did. This verse I wanted to have kind of like a, now we're really getting a little bit crazy kind of feeling. Like we're almost paranoid. Like the angels are conspiring against me. All that kind of stuff. So then we get the pre-chorus again, the manifesting pre-clan. Oh wait, no, what is the pre-chorus? Set intentions, higher dimensions, tying up suspension. Oh yeah, little music theory joke I kind of put in there. The chord on the word suspension is a suspension. Yeah, a little bit of word painting, a little nod. I was a music theory tutor in college. Okay, no, it's a 4 over 5. So that's like A flat over B flat, I think. Oh yeah, I was gonna mention like this whole song. I was really going on the WWSWD. What would Stevie Wonder do? I was trying to write chords that were interesting and kind of, what kind of chords would Stevie Wonder write? So there's a lot of chromatic kind of ascension, descension. They're just kind of fuller chords. I love Stevie Wonder. I'm not saying that this song sounds exactly like Stevie Wonder, but it was kind of like, how Billy Joel used to write songs and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to be Frankie Valli. And then he wrote his songs. That's what I was doing with this. I also did that for Jinx and a few of the other songs on the album. Anyway, not to do with the lyrics, but then we get to the bridge. Now I feel like no one cares that I've been flying in midair. Again, to bring back I feel like I love my music. People tell me it's really good, but then it's like, whoa, why is it so hard? Why is this all so difficult? That's that. Oh, and I skipped the manifesting the pre-clandestine. Like I know what that shit means. I wouldn't know what I'm looking for even if it busted down my door. Same premise as the first chorus, just different words. I think when I wrote the song, originally I had both of those choruses as one chorus and then the kind of refrain of I've been struck together. But then when I was editing, I was like, this is a long chorus. This is like, I don't want to do that. So then I split them up. Yeah, it's been a while. Like I wrote this song, I think in 2021 or 22. So it's been a little while since I've written it. Anyway. Then we have like the alternative chorus at the end of sitting, waiting, anticipating a dream that might come true. But if we keep on counting stars, I'm not sure that'll get us very far. Again, if you don't know where you want to go, you can't get there. Cheers. Cheers. I'm trying to think of this, if there's like anything else that I really want to say about this song. I mean, I think you should listen to it. Of course, it's already out. It's been out for 2 years now. And I know that's like a long time before the album. This album has been, okay, first of all, it's hard to be an indie musician. It's hard. So yeah, I have this song, Losing Light and Tin, already out, and you can listen to those right now. They're on the album. They were written a while ago, but I do feel like they belong on the album. One thing that I didn't really say was that this album is kind of arranged, hopefully, to illustrate the pattern and spiral. So I arranged the songs in order. There's a lot of like the happier, more manic songs at the beginning, and then the end of the album gets pretty depressing. That was on purpose. I know it's a little bit unbalanced in that aspect, but that was on purpose. Anyway, yeah, Serendipity, Manic Energy, Stevie Wonder. Okay. Now give me a second while I rearrange my camera and music setup so that I'm going to do a little acoustic version of the song at the end of every episode. I think you've probably seen me do... If you've been to any of my shows, you've probably seen me do this song. I don't do this one solo very often because some of the songs lend themselves very easily to do like solo piano or solo guitar. This one is a little bit more difficult to do solo, so I kind of changed the overall vibe of the song. So you'll have to just listen to it to really understand it in its entirety. Anyway, let me get this going. One sec. I'll see you in a little bit. I spend too much time hoping words will start to rhyme. Been gazing at the clock, maybe it'll start to talk. I've been barely making sense, I've been barely making rent. I can't satisfy my cravings, wishing will still call my savings. Set intentions for higher dimensions, I'm just dying of suspension. I'm sitting, waiting, anticipating all the dreams that might come true. But if you don't know what it is, it's such an easy thing to miss. I've been struck by serendipity, and I think it's meant to be. I've been struck by serendipity, and I think that's destiny. My horoscope is making jokes, the angels have been taking notes. They think that it's so funny, teasing me with milk and honey. Pulled all my stops and cards, or I wore out, lost my heart. Restless in retrograde, I can't sleep in beds I never made. Set intentions for higher dimensions, I'm just dying of suspension. I'm manifesting the pre-clandestine, like I know what that shit means. I wouldn't know what I'm looking for, even if it busted down my door. I've been struck by serendipity, and I think it's meant to be. I've been struck by serendipity, and I think that's destiny. Now I'm thinking that maybe no one cares. I've been floating, flying sitting waiting, anticipating all the dreams that might come true. But if you keep on counting stars, not sure that'll get you very far. I'm manifesting the pre-clandestine, like I know what that shit means. I wouldn't know what I'm looking for, even if it busted down my door. I've been struck by serendipity, and I think it's meant to be. I've been struck by serendipity, and I think that's destiny. I've been struck by serendipity, and I think it's meant to be. I've been struck by serendipity, and I think that's destiny. Thank you for watching my podcast. I am gonna try to be doing like an episode a week. I don't know if that'll happen because I am not super good at this yet, but I'm trying. So please stick around, and I love you, and um, stream my music. My name is Liam Lars again. I feel like this is the end of a show. Okay, everybody, my merch is in the back. I got new stickers. Oh my god, I did get new stickers actually though. I have stickers in the mail for my next single, Jinx, which is coming out May 25th. I'm super excited. That's actually the song we're going to do next episode because it is the second on the album. I'm really excited, you guys. Yeah. I have to stop talking eventually, but I don't know how to say goodbye. Should I have like a goodbye song I sing every time? No, that would be way too much work. Anyway, goodbye.